What's up, everyone? It's January 23rd of 2025, and I wanted to do a quick video on this incident that occurred at Antioch High School in the Nashville area last night, because this incident has very strong numerical ties to several events that I've been covering lately. Of course, the inauguration of Donald Trump by the Beast Code has been the major story. However, this isn't the first incident involving gunfire at a Nashville area school that I've covered on this channel. Down in the description below, you'll find my video on Trump from the other day, but also a video from 2023 when I talked about a shooting at a school called the Covenant School and how that occurred just 1 month before a movie came out called The Covenant by Guy Ritchie. So when I saw that there was news about a shooting in the Nashville area, I wasn't actually that surprised. Let me explain why. Now, in my video on Donald Trump, I explained how it was all connected to the number of the beast, 666. This riddle was accentuated by the death of former Planned Parenthood president Cecile Richards on that very same day. Trump became the president 666 months after the first ever moon landing, the Apollo 11 mission. So with all the 666s that went into Donald Trump's inauguration, I thought I would look back 666 days from the inauguration to see if I could find a significant news story that was related. And I realized that on March 27th of 2023, we had the Covenant school shooting in Nashville. And what are the odds that just 2 days after Trump gets inaugurated, we get another shooting at a Nashville area school? 666, the Gematria of Brotherhood of Death, with all 4 base methods of Gematria added. The base methods based in the alphabetic order and the rules of numerology. The shooter in that event back in 2023 was named Audrey Hale. At least that was her birth name. The name Audrey Hale sums to 1,666 using square numbers, which of course has the 666. But this name also equals 724 in Latin Gematria. In that same method, the Brotherhood of Death, which is the nickname for skull and bones, another riddle we'll be looking at later. This phrase has matching 724 Latin Gematria with number of the beast. This was also a number connected to the governor of Tennessee yesterday. Measuring from the date he took office, January 19th of the year 19, to yesterday's incident was a span of 72 months. And 4 days, reflecting that beast number. Now, as I showed in my video on Trump, the phrase 666 has matching 2127 Gematria with the city Washington, D.C., where the inauguration occurred. Also in that square number cipher, Waco, Texas is 2127, and Waco is where Cecile Richards was born. That was a big theme in that video as well. Well, now we get 2 shootings at a schools in Nashville separated by 21 months and 27 days. So there's a lot of 666 here, but this also connects to the last video I made on my channel, which was about a hotel fire at a ski resort in Turkey. Now, as I discussed in that video from just yesterday, the fire at a hotel in Turkey began at 3:27 a.m. And this was a number I focused on in my decode, as there were several other relevant 327s. Well, 3/27, or March 27th, was the date of the Nashville school shooting in 2023. And now we get a shooting at Antioch High School. This stands out because Antioch gets its name from a Hellenistic city that is currently in present-day Turkey, Antioch on the Orontes. And we'll look a little bit more at this very soon. I want to go back and talk about the time of this shooting. Now, the time of the fire in Turkey, 3:27, but the time of this shooting, 11:09 a.m., is also quite relevant. We start with the governor of Tennessee, Bill Lee. Notice how he was sworn into office on January 19th. This date is written 1/19. Very similar to this 11:09 time. Meanwhile, the mayor of Nashville is Freddie O'Connell, who took office at the end of 2023. The shooting in the Nashville suburb was 119 days after the anniversary of him taking office. 119 is the reverse value of the city of Antioch. And the Nashville mayor's full name, Thomas Frederick O'Connell, also has this 119. Antioch on the Orontes, originally a city in Greece. Greece also sums to 119. And this is also a major number connected to the government transfer of power this past week. As Donald was sworn into office again, the name Donald equals 119. And along with him, he's accompanied by the 119th edition of the U.S. Congress. So no question about it, these events are related. Now, Antioch on the Orontes, again, this is Greek. So the city's name was originally spelled in the Greek language. And on this channel, Greek isopsephy is one of the ancient methods, along with Hebrew, that I teach on this channel. You'll see these at the bottom. And this is what gives way to the current Latin and standard methods of Gematria, which produce much larger numbers. Well, in Greek isopsephy, Antioch on the Orontes sums to 2210. And this shooting at Antioch High School was on the 22nd of January, or 22/1 of the year 2025. Looking back at the square number cipher of Gematria, the covenant equals 2025. And again, the last time I covered a school shooting in Nashville, it was at the Covenant School, and it was just 1 month before the release of the Guy Ritchie film, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Notice how both of these shootings had the same date numerology. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, this wasn't the shooting at the Covenant School. It was the release of the movie The Covenant that has the same date numerology as the Antioch High School shooting. The primary date numerology for both of these is 68. This is an important number to Donald John Trump, whose name equals 68 in reduction. Donald J. Trump, also 68, reverse reduction. Now, this is a number that's also connected to the code of Solomon's Temple. The phrase Solomon's Temple equals 68. And what are the odds that the name of the shooter in this event was named Solomon? Solomon Henderson. Solomon's Temple, one of 2 temples commemorated in the Jewish holiday of mourning called Tisha B'Av. And Tisha B'Av sums to 911. Of course, 9/11 or September 11th is the date that we remember the collapse of the 2 twin towers here in the United States. So this all harkens back to the 119 code that I just mentioned. Nashville also has gematria of 608 in the Fibonacci cipher, and the city is named after a man called Francis Nash, whose name equals 68. This time, we get a shooting in Antioch, Tennessee, which equals 68. And if you look back at my video from 2023, I pointed out there that it was exactly 68 months after the eclipse that passed over the city of Nashville that we got the film The Covenant. And 68 is also the birth year of the film's director, Guy Ritchie, another 68. So again, the shooting on a 68 date, just like the release of the film The Covenant. In fact, measuring between these two dates here, from the release of The Covenant to the Antioch shooting, was 642 days. Shooting sums to 642 in the Sumerian method. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant equals 642 with capital letters applied. So no question about it, a strong relation between these two events in the same area. Now, when Trump took the White House, it was a span of exactly 1,219 weeks after the September 11th attacks. The number 1219 is relevant to the United States Capitol, which was added to the United States designation of historical places on the date 12/19, 1960. And remember, this week, Donald Trump was sworn in inside the Capitol Rotunda as opposed to on the steps outside. In standard English gematria, Antioch on the Orontes equals 1219. And did you see Trump on Inauguration Day waving a machete around with his airplane Air Force One cake? As I've long been stating, there is a major plane crash riddle with Donald Trump. He even owns a building in New York that a plane once crashed into. Well, on December 19th, late last year, there was a plane crash near the home of a Buffalo Bills player. And I did a whole video on that. But the big theme of that video is that it was on Jake Gyllenhaal's birthday. Jake Gyllenhaal born on 12/19. And Jake Gyllenhaal plays the lead character in The Covenant. Gyllenhaal was born in the year 1980, which has the digits 198. Both President Trump and Beast sum to 198. And again, he's president number 47, which is the ordinal value of Beast and the reverse sum of Trump. A lot more 47s involved with the government and authority. But when you write out 47 as it's spelled, you get gematria of 1616. And for the shooting in Antioch, Jake Gyllenhaal, 16,106 days old. All a tribute to the new president number 47. In regards to the number 666 being important, this is the 36th triangular number. The ancient Greek city, which later became part of the Byzantine Empire, Antioch on the Orontes. Notice how this city has coordinates of 36 degrees north and 36 degrees east. 36, and I mean, this number is essentially shorthand for the number of the beast. In fact, Antioch, Tennessee, the site of this school shooting, is also located on the 36th northern parallel. And just consider this. Inauguration Day on the date 120. the Antioch shooting on the date 122, both of these numbers are found in the Gematria of 666. Tennessee was founded on a date with 120 numerology. Nashville sums to 102 ordinal. In Greek isopsophy, Antioch also equals 102. And this shooting happened 1 month and 20 days before the Pi Day lunar eclipse, and the word eclipse equals 120. Of course, 12, always a significant number of time. The number of hours in each half of the day, for instance, the number of months in a year as well. And the Pi Day eclipse is, of course, connected to the number 666, because 666 equals the 314th prime number, the first 3 digits of pi, and the date of this year's lunar eclipse. So next up, I just want to talk about the skull and bones riddle that is at play. And if you don't follow my channel very often, this might be new to you. But in 2023, the same year as the release of the Covenant, Yale turned 322, the number on its most famous secret society's emblem, the skull and crossbones, which is a 223. Yesterday's incident was 1 year, 105 days after that date. That matches Skull and Crossbones or Skull and Bones Society. Meanwhile, this is also 471 days, and that's the Gematria of both 666 and Revelation. This is an alignment I mentioned in my video from yesterday too, which had a lot of the same riddles. Skull and Bones equals 149 in the alphabetic order, and the digits 149 are important. Also consider that 1409 is the 223rd prime number. So you have a very cool connection with Skull and Crossbones 223 and then Skull and Bones 149. Yesterday's gunfire was 1,490 days after a bomb exploded in downtown Nashville on Christmas Day of 2020. Antioch High School, once again, a suburb of Nashville. So I have some more notes in my post that is, of course, linked in the description below if you want to learn more about Francis Nash and his remarkable connections to Donald Trump. But I did want to talk about this guy in this video too, Francis Nash, because he's got some fascinating numbers. This is the guy that Nashville is named after today. And he died on the date October 7th. This is actually the only date we can associate with this character because we don't know when he was born. But this date, October 7th, is written 10-7, like the number 107. And my video yesterday about the fire in Turkey was about the Grand Kartal Hotel, which equals 107, and how that was all connected to an earthquake in Turkey from 2023. Well, the word shooting equals 107 in the alphabetic order as well. And this shooting in the Nashville area was 107 days after the anniversary of Francis Nash's death on 10/7. In the reverse alphabetic order, shooting equals 109. And this brings us to the next big number in this decode. In most parts of the world, the date written 10/9 is the 10th of September. The 10th of September is the birthday of Guy Ritchie. 10/9. Notice how ancient Greece equals 109. The original Antioch's location. Well, the governor of Tennessee was born on the other date that you can write 10-9, October 9th, the 10th month, the 9th day. Francis Nash was even buried on October 9th, 2 days after his death in the Battle of Germantown. 10-9, October 9th, is also the anniversary of Yale University, founded on the date October 9th, the home of the Skull and Bones Society. Notice how Yale University's age had the digits 1188 for the shooting, like President Trump 1188 Sumerian. But to wrap this decode up, I want to point this out. So hopefully by now we understand that these two numbers on the screen, 223 and 322, are the major skull and bones numbers. And of course, they also have the same gematria when you spell the numbers out. 322 and 223. And I want to focus on the two primary numbers here, the alphabetic order and reduction, or Pythagorean. 295 and 106. Now let's first look at 295, because Skull and Bones Society and Skull and Bones both also equal 295. And we are on the heels of the inauguration of President Donald John Trump, whose name equals 295 when written this way. The shooting was 223 days after Trump's birthday. It was also 90,322 days after the death of Francis Nash in 1777. In fact, Francis Nash died 223 months before Tennessee was granted statehood. I mentioned the Byzantine Empire earlier as well. That sums to 223 in reverse. But these two skull and bones numbers also share a gematria of 106. 106 is the ordinal gematria of the state of Tennessee. 106. And measuring from the governor of Tennessee's birthday, as well as the founding date of Yale, October 9th, to the date of the shooting, was a span of 106 days. Yale also equals 16 in reduction. On top of all this, Tennessee is also the 16th state to have been admitted to the Union. So not only does the state sum to 106, but it's the 16th state, and it was admitted on the 1st of June, which is written 106. I also appreciated how Tennessee became a state in 1796. And Francis Nash, whom the state's capital is named after, when he died from injuries sustained in war, it was during Brown lunation number -1796, which, again, was the year that Tennessee was founded, 1796. Okay, one more thing before I go, because I do have to point this out. We talked a lot about The Covenant, which was released in 2023, and how this is a clear riddle to that film. But there was another film in 2023 that came out that's connected to The Covenant. Now, The Covenant is usually in reference to the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant is the object of desire in the first Indiana Jones film, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I thought, with a new Indiana Jones movie coming out just 2 months after The Covenant, this film is probably connected to this riddle as well. And sure enough, it slots in perfectly. This film was released 572 days after or before the shooting, and 572 is the sum of skull and bones in Latin. In fact, the movie's full name equals 527 in reverse. And when you use the ampersand, skull and bones equals 527. Skull and bones, Indiana Jones. I guess it's all connected. Funny, too, that President Donald Trump sums to 982. The covenant equals 982 as well. And then I may have accidentally dropped this from the post, but I did want to share that, the actor who plays Indiana Jones is, of course, Harrison Ford. And look at Harrison Ford's age for the event in Nashville yesterday. 990 months and 9 days old for a sweet upside down 666. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Once again, check the links down in the description below for other related videos, or if you would like to support the work, which also gives you more powerful tools on the calculator at my website, gematrinator.com. So that'll do it for today. Peace, love, God bless. We'll talk to you all next time. See ya.